This is my reflective video for the add mod in the game's engine assignment. For this project, the work that from last semester was taken, improved upon and transferred into UDK. The stage that was taken was originally a redesign of Ryu stage from the Super Nintendo game Street Fighter II. Looking back at the assignment, there were assets that were sloppily modelled and bodged together just to fill up space. These were little cabling assets and things that didn't add to the environment at all. The background of the environment was completely changed, as some of my peers had said through verbal feedback that the original background seemed pointless to them and that it should be overhauled. The original background was replaced with a mountain range used as a surrounding for the entire environment. This was done so that the final environment would actually have its own surroundings. Some textures were overhauled, these being the main building at the back of the environment and the arena at the front, which would have been given a more realistic wooden texture instead of it going down the poured cement approach as it had turned out in the previous semester. There were some new assets added to the environment used to take advantage of the capabilities within UDK. These were mainly flag assets, but these could be used to simulate a wind effect when used in the end product. In UDK, there were some features used to enhance the appearance of the environment. The cloth physics was taken full advantage of when they were used for flags and banners within the map. Also, to add a bit of an eerie feel to the end product, fog was used purely to give the environment a spooky feel to it by not allowing the player to see the environment in its entirety. It turned out that the fog was a handier tool too when it gave the view of the slightest bit of the mountains, so it gave the impression that it was high up in the sky, It was high up within the mountain range. Looking back at the end result of this, there were more things that could have been added to improve the quality of the end product. These were things, little subtle things like adding rain to it to give it a more environmentally feel, so it feels like that it is out in the open and that it is susceptible to everywhere is susceptible to the elements. Something that has been a common theme throughout verbal feedback from my fellow students is that they have mentioned that the texturing is rather shabby, and I've been told that some were rather bland, and the techniques that had been used, some of the techniques that were used, appear to be quite primitive. This has been taken on board, and in future, the texturing abilities will be built on in the future. Looking back at what was produced in the first semester and comparing it to what has been produced this semester, the new scene appears to be a lot less clustered and things are easier to take in. Now that assets have been removed from the previous scene, everything has more room. You can see things easier as well. And it's also been given a different environmental feel to it. As before, it was just some very basic rock faces that had been produced that are just put together in a matter of minutes. Whereas this new background surroundings for the mountain range would appear to be a lot better than what was used before.